Hi, welcome to the Sip and Music with yours truly as your host. My name is Z. We are at the second episode of the podcast. Akalaan nyo nasa second episode na tayo. Thank you for those who listened. In the first episode, I will be forever grateful for the chance to be heard. Kinikilig po ako. At napasabi ko na what's next. At ito na po tayo sa second episode. Pero bago magsimula, I'd like to thank Gugma Cafe for sponsoring my snacks. Masarap yung pastries nila at vegan friendly. If you wanna try it, check out Gugma Cafe on Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, and Shopee. Gugma Cafe online and Instagram or visit them at www.gugmacafe.com. So ano nga ba ang topic or tea for today's The Sip and the guesses? As if naman malalaman ko sagot nyo, di ba? Pero ito ang clue. It's about love. Oo, may idea na ba kayo? Siyempre meron na. Nasa title siya ng podcast. Sige, ito na. The tea for today ay self-love. Ano nga ba ang self-love? So last time, nagtanong ako kay Google. Ngayon, magtatanong ulit tayo kay Google. So, unang-una ko nakita ay ang sabi ng American Psychological Association. Self-love is having regard for your own well-being and contentment. Ganda. Well-being and contentment. Diba? Not actually whole, pero ang sabi dito, self-love is having regard for our own well-being and contentment. So, it focuses on us. Pero parang kulang. So, ginawa ako, naghanap ako ng mga quotable quotes kay Google. Katulad last time. At ito ang aking findings. So, oo, may findings ako. Researcher ako eh. Charot. So, ito na. Sabi ni comparing Aristotle, I count him braver who overcomes his desires than who conquers his enemies, for the hardest victory is over self. Ang ganito, kaso ang lalim. Pero sabi nga nila, mahirap nga naman talaga i-overcome yung sarili mo. Pero discuss natin yun mamaya at ano yung connection niyan to self-love. Mas meron pa ako nakita. This is one of my favorite author. Sabi ni Sun Tzu, yung sumulat ng Art of War. Know thyself, know thy enemy. 1,000 battles, 1,000 victories. Oo nga naman no. If we know ourselves, then we will have more victories. Kasi mas maiintindihan natin yung sarili natin and we'll be able to conquer ourselves better. And then, may nagganap ulit ako ng isa pa. And I think this is one of the favorite ones I've found. Sabi ni Golda Meir, she's the first female prime minister in Middle East and also an Israeli politician. Sabi niya, trust yourself. Create the kind of self that you will be happy to live with all your life. Make the most of yourself by fanning the tiny inner sparks of possibility into flames of achievement. Imagine, ang ganda nung idea of nurturing those tiny sparks within you and honing that potential to be someone who is better version of yourself, diba? Very inspiring yung thought na yun. Pero, ano nga ba yung self-love? So, ang ginawa ko, dinivide ko yung self and yung love. Hinanap ko yung meaning ng self. May nakita akong isa, sabi sa Google, self is the total, essential, or particular being of a person or the individual. Ayun. Total and essential of a particular person or individual. Diba? Ibig sabihin, buo. Essential, kailangan. Tapos naisip ko, when I was teaching understanding the self, naalala ko yung philosophy. Parang merong isa sa philosophy na ang sabi nila is, the self is a relationship of an individual's own being, knowledge, and values. So parang yung self, binubuo siya ng individual being mo, ng knowledge and your values. So parang, 'di ba, buong-buo rin pa rin siya, pero meron siyang relationship to who you are, to your knowledge and your values. Parang, alam mo yun, hindi siya kompleto kung hindi mo marirelate yun sa sarili mo or hindi mo marirelate yung values mo to who you are as a person. So parang, ang lalim talaga. So, ngayon, ginawa ko, naghanap ako ng meaning ng love. Pero sabi ko nga, nagtuturo ako before. So sabi ko, ano nga ba yung meaning ng love on a psychological definition? So naghanap ako ng isang famous psychologist. Ito yung sabi ni Isaac Michael Rubin. O, familiar ba siya? Si Rubin ay ang author ng Rubin's Scale of Liking and Love. Kung alam niyo yan. Yan yung merong tatlong meaning ng intimacy. May tatlong elements of love. Ayan. Meron siyang intimacy, attachment, and caring. Yung components of love ni Michael Rubin. Pero syempre, that we will discuss that on another topic. Pero si Rubin ang unang nagbigay ng empirical method of measure of love. Pero, yun nga. So, focus tayo dun sa meaning na binigay niya, or definition rather. Sabi niya, love is an attitude that predisposed to one's thinking, feeling, and action rather, in particular ways toward the love object. So, in other words, love is our attitude now towards what we think, what we feel, and what we act towards what we love, diba? So, kumbaga, kung isasama rin natin, nagkaroon ako ng sarili kong definition, ano nga ba yung self-love? So, para sa akin, self-love means accepting yourself fully. Diba? Buo mo tatanggapin yung sarili mo. Treating yourself with kindness and respect. Siyempre, diba? Yung mga mahal natin, we treat them with kindness. We treat them with respect. And nurturing our growth and well-being. Siyempre, pag mahal mo, dapat willing kang mag-grow sila at mag-nurture yung well-being nila. So, dapat ganun din tayo sa sarili natin. And it is about taking care of the wholeness of our own being. Diba? Yung buong-buong tayo. So, ang ganda lang ng meaning na na-derive ko from all of this. Pero naisip ko, since marami na rin naman tayong nabasa na quotes, mayroon na rin ako sarili kong meaning ng love. Or may idea na ako ng self-love. Pag-usapan naman natin yung thoughts ko or yung what I call the musings about self-love. Yan na yung next part nung podcast. Medyo mahirap explain, mahirap naman na sabihin, pero we'll move on to that already. And ano nga ba yung thoughts ko? Hindi ko nga sure kung interesado kayong marinig. Pero I still share my thoughts about self-love. So yun nga. So self-love kasi is being, like I mentioned kanina, it's being kind to yourself. Pero ang dali-dali niyang sabihin, ang hirap-hirap niyang gawin. Alam mo yung may doubt ka sa sarili mo, pero and then you end up saying bad things about yourself. Ito yung kanina, 'di ba? You wanna be kind to yourself, pero pag nagkamali ka, sabihin mo, ano ba yan? Hindi naman kasi ako magaling, like wala kasi akong kwenta. So parang, 'di ba, we end up doing that. Ako personally, I end up doing that kasi masyado akong hypercritical sa sarili ko. Parang bawat galaw ko, mini-measure ko yung value ko as a person na, wala naman akong silbi, kaya siguro ganito yung failure score, kaya siguro hindi tama yung ginagawa. I realized na parang, mali yun. Dapat we speak kindly to ourselves kasi hindi naman tayo, kumbaga, may feelings din naman tayo. Hindi naman natin deserve na masabihan na walang kwenta, diba? If we allow ourselves to say it to ourselves, then are we going to allow other people to say it to us? Syempre hindi, diba? So, ayun. So, this took me time to understand. Parang, kahit na related to mental health or psychology yung course ko nung college, took me time to realize kung gaano ka-important yung self-love. Na-realize ko to nung nag-start na ako mag-work. I had my first job, and then when I got promoted, sobrang hirap na hirap ako dun sa job na yun. Parang araw-araw ako umiiyak, and then hindi ko alam kung paano ako magsasurvive. I was telling myself na baka hindi lang talaga ako magaling, hindi ako kasing galing na ibang tao. And then, dun ko na-realize, dun nag-make sense na dapat pala mahal ko yung sarili ko. Kasi, who's gonna tell good things about me? Kundi sarili ko lang, diba? So, dun nag-start yung time na nag-make sense siya sa akin. Pero, it was a long-term battle for me. Hindi naman siya agad nag-snap na, uy, magaling na ako. Pero, yun, siguro, isang reason kung bakit hindi ganun kabigat yung understanding ko ng self-love is because lumaki kasi kami na limited yung social media interaction. Wala masyadong nagdi-discuss about self-love. Parang commonly people is just gonna talk about, random things. Hindi pa uso yung magpo-post ka ng mga bagay, ng long thread of thoughts. Parang hindi pa siya ganun ka-indie man. Parang usually nagki-cringe pa yung mga tao nung time namin. Pero yun nga. Pero ang madalas na nangyayari, if you grow up in the generation where I'm part of, mas common yung comparison ng mga magulang namin sa mga tao sa paligid. Like, yung comparison na madalas i-compare ka sa anak ng kapitbahay yung overachiever, or like yung anak ng kapitbahay yung magaling. Tapos, minsan naman yung kaklase mo na top 1 sa klase, sasabihin sa'yo, bakit hindi ka top 1, ganyan. Pero yung, pag close yung family nyo, or like kahit hindi naman close, meron, or you live in one compound, maririnig mo yung comparison ng nanay mo dun sa overachiever na anak ng tita mong mata pobre. So, ayun. Di ko alam bakit may sumisigaw na aso sa kapitbahay. Pero, sana sana okay pa sila. Ayun. Kung naririnig nyo yung, please, mahirap mag-record. One take lang yung record ko. So, ayun na. Balik na tayo sa topic. Pero yun nga, iba talaga kasi yung comparison, or iba rin yung social climate ngayon compared to the social climate we have. Parang, yun nga, pag yung anak ng tita mo mata pobre, i-compare sa'yo. Paano naman, mahirap lang naman kami, diba? So, ayun. Ngayon kasi, mas nakadagdag din yung social media to the well-being of individuals or the people. Kasi, diba, iba yung social climate nyo ngayon eh. Parang ngayon, kailangan in ka sa social media, your friends are in social media, may bigat yung pag-follow sa isa't isa, or may bigat yung mga nakikitang achievements. Pero syempre, di ba, pag yung parents mo nasa social media na rin, makikita nila yung mga yun. Tapos parang, bakit hindi ka kasing galing ni ganyan? Parang dati, ang problema lang namin, mas magaling yung pinsan namin sa amin, or mas magaling yung kapitbahay. Ngayon, problema ko na rin yung mas magaling sa kabilang baryo. Yung mas magaling na galing sa UP na di ko naman kilala. Problema ko na rin siya, diba? So, problema ko na rin na nako-compare ako sa kanila. Pero na-realize ko na, bakit nga ba ganun, diba? Pero, if we keep on being compared to others, we end up hating ourselves. And what I realize is, nawawala yung essence of self-love. Kasi nakafocus tayo sa sasabihin ng iba. So, paano nga ba tayo magpo-focus on achieving our self-love? Diba? Let's focus on that. Let's forget what other people say. Let's forget what the rest of the world is going to say about us. Let's focus on what are we going to say about ourselves. Diba? So, dun ko naintindihan na dapat magsisimula tayo sa sarili natin. Intindihin natin yung triggers natin. Intindihin natin paano tayo pinalaki. Kumbaga, kilalanin natin ng gusto yung sarili natin. Self-love isn't just being kind to ourselves, but accepting ourselves fully or whole being. Di naman ibig sabihin na mahal natin yung sarili natin narcissist na tayo. Ang main difference kasi yan dapat willing tayong matuto, makinig at mag-correct ng flaws natin. We understand that we are humans and we have to be comfortable of our own skin, diba? Yun yung isang importante sa pagkakaroon ng self-love. Tanggapin mo muna yung sarili mo, mahalin mo yung sarili mo, and maging comfortable ka sa sarili mo. Pero sabi ko nga, ang dali-dali niyang sabihin, ang hirap niyang gawin. Kasi, di ba, paano mo nga naman mamahalin yung sarili mo kung minsan ikaw wala kang tiwala sa sarili mo? Ang hirap-hirap, di ba? Kaya naniniwala ako sa kasabihan na di mo kayang ibigay ang bagay na wala ka. So, paano tayo magmamahal kung tayo mismo hindi natin kayang mahalin yung sarili natin? Tandaan nyo, self-love shouldn't prevent us from caring about others. It simply means na kaya nating magbigay ng same kindness na ibinibigay natin sa iba. Bigay natin yung kindness na yun sa sarili natin. Kung kaya natin ibigay sa iba yun, dapat kaya nating ibigay sa sarili natin. Bibigay mo sa iba, bigay natin sa sarili natin. Bakit importante yung self-love? Kasi if lumaki ka na walang role model, ano yung self-love at yung importance nito, you will start to question your value. Ayun yung mahirap. Kasi if you will question your value, you will allow a lot of red flags sa buhay mo. Kaya ko nasabi kanina, hindi ko pala nasabi kanina, pero nasabi ko to sa isang tweet na very intimate yung conversation ng podcast na to for me. Kasi, I myself, wow, English yun. I myself, grew up in a household na wala akong value. Not until it fits their narrative. Bakit ko nasabi yan? Kasi, parang hindi naman ako papansin sa bahay namin or ng parents ko or ng mga tao sa amin unless may value ako or unless nakita nila na may na-achieve ako sa class or may na-achieve ako sa boy or something that they could brag about. Pero if failed ako sa isang bagay, then it becomes a problem. Kasi wala akong value for them, diba? So, ang hirap i-determine for me ano ba yung value ko sa person. Kasi hindi ko alam or wala akong role model ng self-love. Yun yung na-realize ko. Kaya for the longest time, it's a long-term battle for me. What self-love is. Hindi ko alam kung ano yung value ko for the longest time. Kaya very intimate sa akin yung conversation na to. It's also because it's a reminder for me. Sorry, it might sound selfish na ginamit ko yung podcast to remind myself. Pero I think not just for me, it's also for all of us who's in this podcast. If you are listening, I hope this will be a reminder to you na wala kang role model of self-love. You have to understand it on your own. Look for something that will make you understand what self-love is and how it is important for you and how it will become very important on the long term. So, yun nga. So, like I mentioned, yung importance ng self-love is para ma-balance mo yung value mo sa sarili mo at paano yung pagbuo mo ng self-esteem sa person. Kasi maraming katulad ko na lumaki sa, sa very transactional family, very transactional childhood na mababa yung self-esteem. Kasi naka-measure yung self-esteem namin sa kung ano yung kaya namin gawin. Diba? So, hindi namin alam yung value namin na sa person. So, dun nag-start yung dun importante yung self-love kasi maintindihan mo yung pagbuo mo ng self-esteem because you understand your self-worth, your value as a person, and mababalance mo yung pagtingin mo sa sarili mo na hindi lang siya just because you achieve something. Kasi pag hindi mo naiintindihan yun, you will end up as a people pleaser. You will keep on trying to be perfect kahit hindi na siya realistic. And at the end of the day, you will end up hating yourself more kapag hindi mo na-meet yung standards na yun. And apart from this, and to add on to this, we allow people to tolerate abuse to us. Or we also tolerate abuse and mistreatment towards us from others. Na neglect natin yung sarili nating needs at yung feelings natin. Kasi we don't value who we are as a person. And madalas kung minsan, we end up in self-sabotage or making decisions that are not in our own best interest. Diba? So, that's why it's important for us to understand what self-love is. And at the very core of it, we must remind ourselves that self-love is a foundation that allows us to be assertive. Diba? We need to assert our boundaries. Also set our boundaries. And create healthy relationship with others. Practice self-care. And, pursue our interests and goals. And feel proud about who we are. Kasi kung wala yung mga yon, or wala yung self-love, you won't be able to have that foundation to become a better version of yourself, diba? So parang ang next na tanong dapat is, paano ba tayo matututo ng self-love? Recap lang natin na ang self-love is valuing and caring for our own needs, wants, and desire. It's not about being selfish. It's about ensuring that we have time to recharge and energy and resources to be there for others. Yun yung recap. Kasi para maintindihan mo na importante yun para maging available ka rin for others. Sabi ko nga kanina, hindi mo kayang magbigay ng bagay na wala ka. So start with yourself. Value yourself. Care for yourself. Your wants, your needs, and your desire. Hindi naman ibig sabihin nun selfish ka, diba? Just taking care of yourself. And parang ang analogy lang niyan is hindi ka makakatulong sa iba pag hindi mo kayang tulungan yung sarili mo. A good example for me is kapag may nalulunod, diba, they're drowning, ikaw hindi ka marunong lumangoy. So, paano mo sila tutulungan? Tatalong ka ba sa tubig kahit hindi ka marunong lumangoy para tulungan sila? Paano pag ikaw naman yung nalunod? Diba? So, let's not let ourselves experience that. Let's start with nurturing ourselves so we can be available for others at the end of the day. Diba? Kung gusto mong tumulong sa iba, alagaan mo yung sarili mo, tulungan mo yung sarili mo. Diba? Also, self-love starts with embracing our humanity. It means we understand we are flawed, we are imperfect, na dapat we are kind to ourselves. We are mindful of our past mistakes and our current well-being. Mindful tayo sa nangyayari sa atin. Mindful tayo sa attitude natin. Naiintindihan natin how this impacts other people as well, and how that will lead to us understanding more of ourselves. Diba? And if we also understand how we should value our physical and our mental well-being, alagaan din natin yun. Kasi diba dapat healthy tayo. So paano masasabing self-love yun kung lagi kang may sakit, diba? So dapat alagaan mo rin yung sarili mo physically and mentally. And na-mention ko to kanina, yung comparison. So if other people compares you, ikaw dapat sa sarili mo, you don't compare yourself to other people. Kasi social comparisons can cause stress. Oo, minsan comparison and competition will help us to become motivated to be a better person. Pero double-edged sword siya. Kasi it can cause more harm more often than not. And it will result us to being consumed by stress, anxiety, guilt, and shame. Diba? So parang the end of the day, focus muna tayo to not comparing ourselves, but focusing to comparing ourselves to our previous self or former self. Doon tayo mag-focus rather than comparing ourselves with other people. Next is we set our boundaries. Because we can't always say yes to people. We also have to have time for ourselves. Di naman pwede na lagi kang mag-yes ng mag-yes, di ba? Wala nang natira for you. Parang deserve naman natin ng time for ourselves. Deserve naman natin mag-set ng boundary to say na, no, hindi ko kayang gawin yan for you. Because I have value. I value myself more. So, it means we don't tolerate abuse. We don't tolerate mistreatment from others by setting boundaries. We don't let ourselves to be gaslighted as well. And ayun, next is we forgive ourselves. Kasi diba like I mentioned kanina, flawed tayo, human tayo, tao tayo. We are imperfect. So, for all the mistakes or past mistakes we had, we have to heal from them. And parang hindi naman dapat araw-araw natin binabalikan yung mga pagkakamali natin, diba? So, it's always better for us to start moving on from those mistakes and learning from them rather than ruminating about it all over again and again every single day. Walang magagawa yung pag-reminisce mo ng pagkakamali mo. Ang only better way or option to do it is to move forward and learn from it and become a better person, diba? So, yun. Kasi, kasi i-blame natin yung sarili natin sa mga bagay na out of our control. So, we move forward. Kumbaga, wag tayo magtanim ng galit sa sarili natin. Ulitin ko kanina, embrace our humanity. Let's move forward with learnings from our own mistakes. And also, let's surround ourselves with loving people. Kasi syempre, diba, important yung social support. It's very vital to our own being as a person. Di naman tayo lumaki mag-isa. So, kailangan natin ng mga tao sa paligid natin. Pero let go of those toxic relationships if kaya natin. At the end of the day, choice naman natin yan eh. Pero, if you realize that your relationships or the relationship around you is not helping you grow, maybe it's time to reevaluate, diba? Evaluate mo. Does that help you become a better person? Does that help you love yourself more? Or it just causes you to hate yourself? So, evaluate natin. Maybe that will, also have an impact on understanding how important self-love to us. And next is a change of negative mindset. Kasi 'di ba, kung kanina lagi nating sinasabi na be kind to yourself. Pero kung negative pa rin yung mindset natin, we will still end up saying bad things about ourselves. So kailangan we say good things to ourselves, but we change our mindset. We change a frame of perspective to having a positive outlook in life. Hindi to ibig sabihin na magiging toxic positivity yung gagawin mo. Magkaiba kasi yun eh. Dapat pag positive outlook, naniniwala ka lang na there are better days to come, but doesn't necessarily mean na walang bad days. Alam mo yun? Parang bad day ngayon, but the bad day is only a bad day. There could be a good day tomorrow. Diba? So, if things happen today, we learn from it. We move forward. We take accountability for all the consequences and actions we took rather, diba? And tandaan natin na positive affirmation can also boost our self-esteem and reduce yung social anxiety and fear na nararamdaman natin. So, let's not forget to remind ourselves to be kind to yourself, that we are doing our best right now and we could be better day by day, diba? So, let's focus on that. Let's focus on ourselves. Let's focus on getting better each and every day. So, bago matapos ito, matapos na, parang ang bilis, no? Meron ulit akong takeaway. One, self-love starts with us understanding ourselves. Second, self-love means we understand our value and we are kind to ourselves. Third, self-love is a long-term battle within ourselves that we need to keep on conquering every single day of our lives. Sabi nga ng isang famous American author na si Napoleon Hill, if you do not conquer self, you will be conquered by self. Hindi madali, pero araw-araw ay panibagong araw para mas maging better version of ourselves. Kasi sabi rin ni Ernest Hemingway, there is nothing noble in being superior to your fellow men. True nobility lies in being superior to your former self. Kaya mahal, kung nakikinig ka pa, tandaan mo, unique ka. Kaya there's no need to compare yourself with others kasi tanging kalaban lang natin na yung ating sarili. Being a better version of ourselves help us understand that there is no constant thing in life but change. It also means loving ourselves will bring out the best in us. Diba? So, ayun, sobrang productive nung topic na to for me. Sana kayo din. And just another thing I'd like to say na the war within us and self-love will always be one of the most challenging battles. But it will be worth it. And, ayun, pero katulad ng kahit ano, lahat ay natatapos. Kaya for now, ako ay magpapaalam na muna. Maraming salamat sa pakikinig, mahal ko. Lagi mong tatandaan, mahal, sapat ka, hindi ka kulang.